this video I am painting the Circus eye. This is the 9th painting in my series of eyes. I'm planning on making 25 of them. And the basic concept for this specific eye is that the center of the eye is a sand pit with a path leading up to it. The iris is the stand for people to sit, for the public, and the roads making the direction of the lines. And then the eyelids are the tent of the circus. That's the basic concept for this specific painting. I think it went pretty well. I had to change my plans pretty quickly once I started, because initially I just did the circular sand at the middle, and I was planning on making just the stands around them, but then I thought, well, there needs to be a way for the artists to go on at the center of the stage. So I added a red wall to separate the public from the sand, and had that wall form a path towards the edge of the eye, where I imagine the backstage is of that circus. And I think it was a pretty good decision. It makes the painting more coherent, more complete. Now, I should probably have made all of the sand first, or let the walls paint dry before doing the path, because some of the red from the wall was still wet when I did the sand for the path, and because of that, some parts are darker than they're supposed to be. This color difference is not a big deal, but it's mostly something I need to consider when painting in the future. What I am aware of the fact that I need to wait for paint to dry of one color before doing another color, because it's risky for the exact reason why I had some trouble with this one. But I often might find myself impatient with painting, with waiting for the paint to dry, because when I sit down to paint, I want to paint, and often there are parts of the painting process that are just too short for the amount of time I want to spend painting, and then I get annoyed at waiting for the paint to dry, at having to wait for the paint to dry, so I take chances that I shouldn't have taken. Here, for the floor around the stands, I went with a dark blue to contrast a lot with the sand and the on the wall. I basically took a sky blue and I added drops of black into it until I was satisfied with the color. Became a grayish blue, I would describe it. The blue was applied once the paint had dried a lot. The red was fully dried at that point. It was a different day. Different day or just an hour? Here, there's some doubt in my mind about the exact timeline. The footage for this has been sitting in my computer for maybe a month, maybe a bit more. So I have not published for a while. That's mostly because I found myself kind of having difficulty being motivated to paint. Like, once I'm painting, that's fine. I love painting and I do it fairly well, I'd say. But and I have plenty of ideas for painting, but I tend to have my ideas when moving around on the bus or walking, not moments where I can paint. And then when I had at home, and it would be a good time to paint, I just don't feel motivated to do it. So that's been my struggle in all artistic pursuits recently. With during Christmas time, I purchased some and received some new types of art supplies that are to experiment with different types of painting and adding detail to my wood carving. Hopefully, that'll help motivate me. The novelty of it, though I don't want to rely on always buying new stuff to get back into motivation because that's a dangerous trap to fall into. And well, I sh- and yeah, it's a art is already costly. It doesn't need to be made costlier for no reason. So I added a final red dot at the center of the stage of the sandpit to be like a. I mean, I imagine that to be like the stand for the ringleader of the circus, something like that. And here I'm starting to make the stands. I try to keep them fairly regular, and I haven't kept the PNG, but to figure out how I wanted the stands to look, I did. I took a screen grab of part of the video to and then I imported that PNG to paint uh, the uh, the software, and I just messed around with it until I felt I had a good idea of how I wanted the stands to be, and I had that picture up whilst I was painting this, just to have an idea of where I was going with it, and that really helped. This is one of the projects where I did the most, uh, like even in terms of preparation like that. Even when it was time to do the eyelids, I figured out the colors I wanted with pictures in the paint software. That's something I may use more in the future. I don't know. I like having paint to use sketches and reference to create reference for myself, but it feels kind of like a crutch. Like I feel like I don't know, because well, it's not cheating because well, even it's not uncommon to have sketches and plans, but I don't tend to use those much because then I want to keep the sketches, which can accumulate rapidly. I have to be careful about that. I have kind of an accumulator's personality, so I tend to try to not sketch too much. Sketching on paint on the software is a bit better about that because the image is then less, the sketch becomes less precious in my eyes than if it was physical, so I can mentally easily dispose of it afterwards. But it's less romantic. It's less. I would prefer physical sketch if I didn't fear accumulating them too much. Fear is a strong word. But that's a debate with myself that I'll keep on having. There's no perfect solution for, and no true answer for how to do art. It's just what feels best. Most times when I'm painting, I have a strong mental image of what I want to do. This one was more vague in my mind, so I felt the need to sketch. But in general, it doesn't feel that necessary for me. It's hard to describe. I should probably have sped up this specific part of the process. I just realized how big of a percentage of the video is just painting the stand lines. It feels excessive. But at this point, I feel like it's too well. It's not too late. I could always change it and re-record a portion of the video out of voiceover. But that's just in my style. I do one take and one take only. Well, that's not exactly true. If I see that there's a big bug and that the whole recording froze for like more than 2 seconds, then I delete the portion and record. This happened with this video. The first time I started recording this voiceover, after like 2 minutes, it just completely froze up, and I had to figure out where it started freezing so that I could pick back at the in a way that felt natural. And here I start painting the tent. I do this first. I figure out which colored stripes will be with just a thin line to also mark the shape of the eyelid. And then later I fill those in with their colors fully. And in this specific painting, I tried to. Usually, when I do these eyes, I make a line for the eyelid at the very beginning, but I didn't really know which orientation I wanted the eyelids to be, so I at the beginning, so I didn't sketch them. And since I had already painted, I didn't want to pull out my pencils again. So I just freehanded it with paint. Um, I think it was a good idea. It made the lines less straight and more wavy, which for a tent that's more like a fabric. It feels it feels fitting. For the colors of the tent, I went with purple and red because well, those are circusy color, and I felt like the red went well with the sand and the wall, and the purple went well with the color of the stand. Like it wasn't the same color. There's still some contrast, but it's a close color, because it's a dark color with some blue in it. So those felt like good circus colors for the tent. At this point, I would like to talk about which painting I'm planning on doing next, but I wouldn't want to. Like, I don't know when I'll be motivated to do which painting, so what I think right now should be the next painting may not end up being it. And here you can see me holding the a frame, holding the painting through a frame. That's a little tray I made for when I apply varnish. It catches the drops of varnish and it protects my desk from it. Um, and well, it also and I figured out that I could also use it to protect my my desk from paint stains when I'm working on painting the edges. It's a nice little thing I modeled and 3D printed myself with my relatively new 3D printer. I've had it for quite a bit, but I didn't use it much. I used it less than I thought I would so far. I don't regret the purchase. It's cool, but the main issue with that tray is that it's only useful for this specific size of canvas. I have ideas and plans on how to make it more modular so that I'm able to use it for and adjust it to larger um, larger paintings. But we'll see. To try to help motivate me to continue doing the eyes, I've already installed all the nails to hang all of the eyes in my home, and I've hung those that I've done already. So this way, when I'm moving around my home, I see the paintings, and it reminds me, oh yeah, I still have X amount of those left to do. I think it should help me. So far, I've had mixed results, but still, it's good that they're in place. It keeps my eyes on the goal, and well, it adds decoration. That's always fun. It seems like you might have been able to hear the my heater start there, and well, it being active right now. Sorry for that background noise if you do hear it. I can't do much about that. It's winter and I'm well by the heater right now, and it would be troublesome to try to stop the recording every time it starts and then record only in the small window where it doesn't function. So you'll have to bear with me. Sorry about that. And with that final stripe, the painting is done. And with that, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to come by whenever you want. Bye.